So ever since the quarantine happened, I have been sitting down and watching a lot of media. You guys already know that I'm a sucker for commentary, so The Wire has basically been my fucking bible on how to write a good TV show.
What? My nigga.
I've been watching and rewatching some really good stuff. The other stuff I've been watching is anime, and let me be completely honest, it hasn't been the most enjoyable thing to me as much as American television is. Some of y'all might say, well, what do you mean by that? I'm saying that most of the anime I've watched has just fucking sucked dick for me. I may be a little bit hyperbolic for the title, but essentially most of the anime I've seen over quarantine has been up to snuff in my opinion. They either range from being okay, they just make me want to cut my foreskin off. Nah, just kidding, I already don't have any. Now, I'm not saying that all anime is bad or even that all anime I've seen over the quarantine has been terrible, because there have been a few gems that I've watched, but it appears that for the majority it's just been really shitty. I'm not the only one who thinks this, by the way. There are people who critique anime and its tropes all the time on the internet, nor am I making it a generational thing. Some people like to say that a specific era was the golden age of something, whether that be movies, rap, TV, or anime, but forget that the reason why we think these eras are golden is because the outliers, aka good pieces of media, outshine the bad, which were probably as plentiful. 30 years later, some people will probably say that the golden years of rap were the 2010s because of artists like Tyler the Creator, Travis Scott, and many others, despite people like Lil Pump and Blueface existing.
Blueface, baby!
Sorry for the tangent, I just wanted to include Tyler the Creator in this video somehow. But what are some of the bad things that are seen in anime? Well, let me explain. There is. What the fuck kind of word is this? The word is derived from the word dere, which means love struck, and the basic gist of a dere is a sort of organized character type. For example, a tsundere is a girl who acts pushy to the main love interest of the show. A tsundere will act very coldly to him or her, and most of the times it's a her. Sometimes a tsundere will sometimes go upside the head of the main character for doing something that is perceived as perverted, even if the intention is not to be. Basically, this character type is to be an asshole. Another dere is kudere. Fuck my life. Serious, man? A kudere, which is basically a very silent and reserved member of the harem who rarely has any extroverted traits like the others. Sometimes the character is like a childhood friend of the protagonist, and sometimes it's their mother.
Nigga, what the
Kuderes, however, can sometimes be confused with danderes, who are often quiet like kuderes, but aren't completely silent like them, but instead are just really shy and often considered cute or moe. What's wrong with this exactly though? Well, this categorization isn't necessarily wrong. The problem comes in when niggas think that they can just slap that certain trait on a character and call it a day, which is what happens most of the time with these animes. This results in the character not being a character, but a fucking archetype. When your character just becomes an archetype, you know what happens? It becomes a little bitch that doesn't know when to develop into a big bitch, and that's a problem. This seems to be an issue that is found in either harem anime or shounen anime. The second thing is the main character. MC, if you will. No, not that MC. Not that MC either.
Real niggas with big dicks.
Those are the only cool MCs. What's wrong with the main character in anime? Well, nothing. The problem is that most of the character is a nothing sandwich, or they're a big fucktard. What do I mean by this? Well, there are usually two types of dense anime MCs. The typical harem action one and the shonen one. The harem one, that is sometimes featured in action shit, is really fucking boring. He doesn't really have any character art that sounds natural, and it's sometimes a ripoff of Sasuke's story from Naruto, or has none at all. His personality can only be the normal guy who acts like the densest mofo around and can't pick up in any social cues. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure he's so overpowered that Dr. Manhattan would blush. Oh yeah, also, this type of character also can apply for romance or normal harem animes as well. This motherfucker will literally freak out if he touches a girl wrong. Another type of character is the shonen one. The shonen one is a little bit more fun to work with because his personality is a little bit more bombastic, but still though, he's just as bad. This one will be dense, but he'll make up for the dense part by being super determined to be the best fighter or wizard or gunslinger or pirate or president of the fucking ninja land ever. This person will usually talk about how the power of friendship will prevail like we're in some fucking My Little Pony shit. Make sure to add the brooding best friend whose clan or parents got killed, or like his world got destroyed, or I don't know, his Roblox account got hacked or whatever. Oh yeah, bonus points if he turns on the MC halfway through the series. Oh, and let's not forget the love interest, which can be arranged from a Dandere or Tsundere. Why are these archetypes bad? Just like I said before, they're not bad in of themselves, but an issue I come across in these animes is that a lot of the character is static and doesn't fluctuate. When writing characters, starting from a more humanistic point of view is always going to get you more props, not just because of relatability, but because it can flesh out your character in unique ways that you never thought could be fleshed out. For example, oh yeah, by the way, spoilers. In Naruto Shippuden, there's a moment where Sasuke almost kills Sakura, not in the normal, oh, I'm gonna throw you into some rocks and hope I break your fucking spine, but in the using the lightning blade which killed Haku in the OG series on Contact. By the way, he also almost killed Karen, another girl that was crushing on him and was his partner. Naruto saves Sakura's ass after almost being killed, and Kakashi also helps him out. After that, Naruto tells him that he knows about Itachi, and he says this shit.
てめえは一体何がしてんだよ。なんで俺にそこまでこだわる。友達だからだ。
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Bruh, really? This part actually could have been really defining. Throughout Shippuden and some of the OG series, Naruto has been chasing after Sasuke, holding out hope that there's some good still left in him. But time after time again, Sasuke does something despicable. Through all that, Naruto's faith could be waning. We could see how Naruto is losing hope for his friend to make a comeback. But there is a tiny part of him that still holds out that hope for his friend. I almost find this comparable to a scene in Akira, the manga by the way, where Kaneda and his friend Yamagata confront Tetsuro. Tetsuro is obviously way too far gone, but Kaneda doesn't see that until Tetsuro goes too far and kills Yamagata. Despite being Tetsuro's friend, Kaneda does the hard thing and tries to kill Tetsuro. The moment with Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura could have been almost like the moment in Akira. All that hope that Naruto had for Sasuke is gone and is now replaced with pent-up anger. He sees how Sasuke is and tries to kill him as well, not just because he's angry at him, but for the sake of his village and because he truly thinks he has changed to an evil person. Now, this doesn't automatically put Sasuke in the unsavable category. He can still be redeemed in the series, but the hypothetical character moment could be the thing that doesn't just make Naruto a paragon, but a person with actual feelings. A compelling character who doesn't act in the most optimal ways, and the moment could be something that's a pivotal moment that stays with him. Nah, fuck that, he's just gonna say that he's still gonna save him right there. Wow, so amazing. That was way first time on take. Do we get an Oscar? The settings of anime can vary, but I assure you, sometimes they can be a little fucking samey. If you're watching an anime, expect these two things to be the main settings: high school or fantasy setting. Just like I said, it's not all anime, but I will tell you straight up, if you start looking at anime, you will notice a pattern. A lot of these anime tend to star fucking teenagers that are in fucking high school or in some fantasy setting. This is why I tend to gravitate to anime that doesn't just take place in those settings. I will say that this is more cultural than anything. High school tends to be a part of Japanese culture in a special way. It's kind of complicated, but it's seen that high school is sort of the last bastion for freedom for Japanese people. That's where they create their most cherished memories and the last time they can actually feel like people before they go into the workforce, which in Japan is pretty fucking ruthless. There seems to be a little bit more variety though. There are shows coming now that take place in different settings, so this one isn't as big as an issue for me. Fan service. Fan service isn't like super fucking bad, trust me it ain't. But when an anime series is just fan service, it becomes really boring. You showing me ass and tits can only work so many times before I realize your anime is some poo poo. An example of this is Interspecies Reviewer. The basic plot is that these three guys are friends in a fantasy land and they review brothels all over the land. When I heard about this series, I was actually kind of excited because the concept was so new to me. I kind of thought that they were going to go for some more badass like adventures and meet new characters so that when they got the ass, it makes the reward seem way more fucking better. I actually kind of thought before watching the series that maybe the two characters were going to go through some type of arc. Like maybe they were going to kind of treat women who weren't working at the brothels like, objects. But through their adventures and meeting other female adventurers, they would gain respect for women. But then I watched it and I was disappointed. It wasn't that bad, but the entire series was fucking fan service. Like, yeah, they fuck a bunch of creatures every episode, but that gets old real quick. There is this one moment where there are like demons who want the group to review some demon hookers so that they can gain some support for the political party, which was interesting, but they never get back to that until the very end, and it's revealed that they just lost the election. Like, what? And people are probably going to say, oh, well, the manga's better. Like, dude, if I wanted to read a book, I'd read a fucking book, okay? I didn't come to TV to say that the manga was better. If I wanted to see naked women, I either go to Pornhub or open up my Tinder DMs. This one actually pisses me off. Now, this only occurs with stuff in the shounen genre mostly, but it still has to be said. The episode count for these animes are too damn long. It just is.
I better have a whole fucking farm's worth of potatoes in my backyard if I'm trying to fucking binge watch Naruto.
Naruto, including Shippuden and Boruto, is 874 episodes, nearly a fucking 1,000, dear God. Bleach is 366 episodes, not as much as Naruto, but goddamn, 366? One Piece, 929 episodes.
Are you kidding me?
Hell no, Jonathan, I wish I was. When people recommend me shonen anime, my first question should be, oh cool, what's it about? But instead my first question is, how many episodes is it? That shouldn't be my first question. A lot of people say that One Piece is actually really good. I remember watching One Piece as a fucking kid and stopped around episode 600 after the time skip. I remember looking up One Piece cruising for some nostalgia and possibly picking up the series again, only to find that it was closing in on 1,000 episodes. Now, I don't want to watch it, because I'm going to have to start from the beginning. I always like to say, if your story passes the 300 mark, then you need to stop it. The story should be done. Do you hear me, Simpsons? Filler itself is not a bad thing. People seem to think that filler is a bad thing, and it's not. Filler can sometimes be very useful when trying to expand on a character's mindset or development without the constant worry of the main story getting in the way. It can be a very great tool that can be useful in TV, but people seem to really dislike it in anime, and I understand because most of the filler in anime actually suck ass. A lot of it are condensed into these really weird stories where the characters are just kind of fucking around and sometimes act out of character. And you know what? That's fine. But when the majority of the content is filled to the brim with filler arcs that do nothing to develop the character or story, then yeah, it becomes an issue. And then there are problems where some people consider the filler episodes to be not canon, and that just makes me want to kill myself, because why was the arc even there in the first place? Unless it's like a Christmas or Halloween special, I guess. If a show has filler, it has to do something than just dick around and fill up the episode count until they can get to the serious shit. With all that being said, you guys might think that I completely hate anime, right? Just because these tropes exist and are used horribly doesn't mean that I hate anime. Even though I don't watch anime 24/7, there is a lot of anime that I enjoy out there. The thing about it is that a lot of them often take place in settings and scenarios that aren't like most anime. For example, Trigun and Cowboy Bebop take place in fast-paced action worlds and talk about things that are more complex than typical shows. The anime Michiko and Hatchin also does the same with the setting taking place in South America. Another good example of an anime that I like is Steins Gate. This anime is mostly about time travel, and yes, time travel is a bit of a turnoff for some people, but the creators do really well trying to explain the time travel aspects of the show. Also, the thing doesn't take place in a damn high school. Like I said in my Michiko and Hatchin video, if your anime takes place in any place other than a high school, it's an automatic 8 out of 10 for me. Hell, even if it's in a high school, it can still be really fucking good. Haruhi Suzumiya is one of my favorite shows ever. I recently finished Paranoia Agent, and that was directed by Satoshi Kon, so you already know that shit was great. And the theme song is pretty fucking fire. My point is that I'm not a complete hater or just don't like anime. I just like well-written shit, period. So, yeah. Basically, I don't hate anime, it's just that there are a lot of problems in the medium, and I kind of wanted to highlight them. Not to tear it down, but more for people to look at the problems and figure out how to make them better. So, what do you guys think of anime overall? Do you guys think that it's amazing, or do you guys think that anime overall is pretty fucking bad? Tell me in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you like any more of my content, subscribe.